Candidly, Sharon H. Firing it at ya, free-spoken, forthright, and frank. Are you ever too hard on yourself? Why you've got to stop being so hard on yourself? Got it? Don't make me say it again.
Oh. Sharon H. rolling out my weekly dose of unapologetic candidness. Have you ever found yourself being too hard on yourself, given yourself the hardest time over the smallest of things? Then keep watching all the way to the end for my real raw, straight shooting take on why I think many of us give ourselves a hard time. Just remember, everything in this video is coming from my perception and viewpoint. Take what advice you want and let the rest slide right off of you like Teflon. I think many of us have gone through the motions of being way too hard on ourselves for various differing reasons. I know I have. I've put way too much pressure on myself without even realizing it. Truth be known, I can still lean that way if I don't get myself in check. Hit that like button for me right now if you've ever found yourself being too hard on yourself, even if you've given your all and you've nothing left to give. I don't know about you, but I think this comes down to us putting unrealistic expectations upon our own shoulders. We often accept bare minimum from others whilst we expect ourselves to outperform our own capabilities. Sometimes we assume that we can handle tasks that are just way out of our scope, or we need to prove that we can, whether it be to ourselves or others. We assume we can take as big a bite as we like and just chew like hell. But sometimes, rather than fulfill our hunger, we are gonna choke. When we have a misplaced sense of all that we are capable of, whichever way it may tip the scale, it can lead to disappointment. If we undervalue our capabilities due to lack of self-confidence, we may be left kicking ourselves. We didn't try harder. But if we overvalue our capabilities, we may be left feeling deflated, like we let ourselves or others down. A bloody tool. Which could also come down to ego. Our ego can either deflate us or inflate us, but either way, it will have us out of shape. Sometimes, if we're too hard on ourselves, this can stem from our youth. If we feel we were compared in a harsh light, compared to our siblings or even our friends, whether it be by a parent, our teacher, or a friend. This has a terrible way of getting into our psyche and naturally leading us to the assumption that we just aren't good enough, as hard as we may try. Wandering through life, forever feeling like second best, like we will always pale in comparison to that one person or many people. This naturally corrodes away our self-esteem. So we may adapt a woe is me outlook with a defeatist attitude, or take those big bites as a way to prove ourselves to others, and yes, even ourselves. Most often it's to prove ourselves to someone who may even be oblivious to their constant bias and the inferiorities they've shamefully created. Sadly, that damage can run deep and lead us on a path to forever second-guessing ourselves, our capabilities. That constant state of having to prove ourselves to whomever it is that made us feel we will never be on the winner's podium, but always second best. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Wherever these feelings of inadequacy stem from, one thing I do know is they cut fucking deep. Perhaps it's the opposite. Perhaps we were always the ones that were held to a higher standard. And we fear if we give anything less than what's deemed acceptable, then we are little more than failures. And what if we're doing this to ourselves? Standing on the outside and looking in on everyone else's successes and triumphs and measuring our own by them. Trouble is, unless we are egocentric, this comparison game rarely tips in our favor. We silently tear shreds off ourselves and demean our worth and capabilities in fear of how others may see us. None of us wants to feel lesser, but we often classify ourselves as lesser because we see every other joker as more, forgetting that everyone else we view are only showing us the parts of their lives they want us to see. For example, if someone has a victim mentality, they're only going to tell us what a shit show shambles their life is. They're not going to tell us of all the positives in their favor. Somewhere deep within, they most likely have expectations for themselves they're not meeting, so they try to account for not reaching the mark with pity party spiels. Then those that seem to have dotted all their I's and crossed all their T's in winning at life. What we fail to get into our noggins is they are only showing us their highlight reels. We mostly all only present the highlight reels, as we know better than to wear our dirty linen for the world to see. Even if someone seems to be slaying and winning every victory in life, odds are they've had many fall downs and fails before they got to the wins. So easy to get into the comparison game on social media. We've become a society that looks at people as numbers before we see them as humans with so much fucking story. Take Instagram and the world of so-called influencers. And yes, of course, there are some legit influencers who have earned their following. Those that have worked their asses off to be the successes they are today. But bet your ass, there's a lot more bullshitters riding on fake followings and unicorn parts. And you know why they get away with that? Because too many dickheads look at the vanity metrics and don't scratch beneath the surface to see that all that glistens is not always gold. But unlucky for the fraudsters of social media. Any reputable brand that are looking to hire real influencers will pay to tap into one of their sites that shows where the bulk demographic are coming from, and they'll spot a fraudster a mile away. So if you're thinking of cheating your way to success, don't do that. There's no merit in that. There will never be merit in that. Same goes with this platform. Any one of us creators has the potential to be the next big thing on YouTube. But odds are, most people aren't giving our videos a chance because their focus goes straight to that number under our video, assuming we suck, not realizing that even the biggest names on here took years and years to build a substantial following, but they were always that star in the making. Others just didn't know it yet because they didn't give their videos a chance. Trouble is, most will opt for someone with mass following who may have just got lucky and not have even half the talent. There's so much raw talent just getting scrolled on by because people keep focusing on the blasted superficial numbers. We can't let this fuckery get inside our heads. We have to know our worth and then attack. Rather than thinking we are inferior to them, we have to become pragmatic about our capabilities. There was a way for others to genuinely succeed, then there's a way for us to do it too. We need to set focus on leveraging our strong points and minimizing our focus on our weaknesses if they are nothing we can realistically strengthen. Every day is an opportunity to level up and become our better, our best. We all have days we feel defeat, but we can only be defeat if we keep a defeatist attitude. If you wake up every day and think nothing good's gonna happen today, or I won't win today, then give yourself an uppercut. Because with that fucking attitude, what you think's gonna happen? You're gonna have those moments, Lord knows I do. But then I get the hell over myself and get to work on what I can do. You just can't let yourself stay there, feeling sorry for yourself, or beating yourself up. If you've given your best but didn't quite hit the mark, you have to stop letting others, whether consciously or unconsciously, make us feel lesser because they see others as more. But most importantly, we can't see ourselves as lesser and others as more. And I don't mean we go around thinking we're king shit of Turd Island either, because no one needs to give themselves an uppercut more than one of those egotistical pricks. Give me a boom in the comments if you know one. I know you probably all do, but we have to know with every fibre of ourselves that no one is better or more deserving. I don't care what number of subscribers or followers someone has. I don't see them as lesser or more. We're all flesh and blood humans that will have wins and will have losses. And who's to say our numbers or wins this time next year won't leave theirs for dust? We have to stop this mind-numbing, pointless act of comparison. We have to stop poorly measuring ourselves against our idols, our foes, our peers, our siblings, our parents. And we have to stop allowing any other muppet compare us poorly either. Just because another sees one better from their perspective doesn't make it factual. It just means it's their preference. Odds are there would be those that have the opposite preference, which would be in your favor, our favor. All we can really give in life is our very best. And if our very best isn't good enough for others, and that's on them. But we can never allow our very best to not be enough for ourselves. Every day we wake up is a fresh start to be a little bit better than we were the day before. Some days we'll have little wins, some days we'll have more, some days we'll take a backward step. The best you can do for yourself is to measure yourself against no one and accept yourself for everything and all that you are. Win or lose, you'll have good days, you'll have bad, and make mistakes aplenty. It's natural, we all do. But the biggest mistake you'll ever make is going through life tearing strips on everything fucking good that makes you, you. Don't rush off. Be sure to check out this video next. Thanks for watching.